Thank you, brothers. This is going to take me a second. I was not prepared for the amount of emotion I was going to feel at my first General Assembly. I have spent my entire adult life trying to create the perfect persona, the most airtight mask that I can hide behind in any situation to keep me from feeling anything. And it usually works. The problem is it's very hard to hide in a room full of 600 brothers. And I think the reason this has been so emotional is being in your presence reminds me of everything. It reminds me of how lucky I am to be a member of this fraternity. I owe everything, everything I have, everything I am to you and to the men that came before you and the bond that we have together. I stand before you tonight an incredibly thankful person. And I want you to know how much I love you. We didn't grow up saying I love you in my house, but I love you. I want to start by thanking Brother Stearman. Become one of my best friends. I want to thank every member of the Grand High Zeta and the Student Advisory Committee that I have had the honor to work with over the last 3 years. The opportunity to be the sixth CEO in our fraternity's history is the greatest honor of my life, and I want to thank you for trusting me with this obligation and for teaching me. I am a better man. I'm a better husband. I'm a better leader because you showed me the way, and I want to say thank you. To the team at the Office of Administration, I am so proud of you. You showed us your heart this week. I know how much you love the men we serve because I get to see it every day, but this week you took it to the next level and you exemplified what it is to be a true servant leader, and I want to say thank you. To every brother here, I want to say thank you. I did not know what to expect. I want to thank you for filling this week with so much laughter. I mean, we lived up to our open motto, not without labor, but we did it with a smile, and we did it with decorum, and we did it with brotherly love, which is not an easy thing to do. And I say thank you. I am grateful because I look out there and I see so many good men that continue to give so much of themselves away to their brothers long after graduation. And I asked myself why. I didn't understand it when I first took over in this role. But after meeting so many of you and talking to so many of you, I think I finally understand. For so many of the men in here tonight and so many of our brothers since the day we were founded, we were lost and then we were found. We were anonymous and then we were known. We were lonely and then we had so many brothers. And my guess is, no matter where you come from, at some place or some time in your life, these very human conditions have been true for you too. We all go through periods where we feel adrift, where we feel that we do not have a place where we belong, and we all need somebody to tell us we are worth fighting for, that they believe in us. The one thing that I know to be true, whether you're an associate member or you're an admiral, you all need somebody who unconditionally loves you all the time, and you always will. And without this baseline, elemental, human support, most of us fail to reach our potential. Most of us fail to launch, and our lives never become what they could or should be. I know because this almost happened to me. I almost got stuck at 13. That's the year I lived the worst day of my life. And I'm going to tell you just a little brief snippet of my story, because I want you to understand the transformative power of this fraternity. So when you go back to your Zeta, you know what you are actually doing. You understand the mission and you understand the cause. Like some of you have probably experienced, my parents, they had their troubles. They got married too early. They got married for the wrong reasons, and by the time I was 13, my mom decided that she needed to move on. And my little brother and I, we were supposed to go live with our dad. And the transfer, whatever you want to call it, was supposed to take place in this little strip mall that was between our two towns. It was on the edge of a highway. And true to form, my mom got there early, and my dad got there late. And after a while, she decided she couldn't wait any longer. And she told me to take care of my little brother. She said goodbye, and she drove off towards her new life. And my little brother and I waited. I don't know how long. In my memory, it felt like forever. And we waited. And in that moment, my childhood was over. In that moment, the part of me that I liked, the part of me that was open, the part of me that could feel, it was burned away, and it was left with something that was cold and something that was callous and something that was a lesser imitation of the young man that was there before. And from that moment on, my master was fear, and fear led to anger, and anger led to very self-destructive behavior, and that led to trouble. And by the time I was 19 years old, I was almost truly and fully lost. I was the next statistic that you saw. I was the next discarded, wow, he could have really been somebody. What happened to him? But I got lucky. I stand here tonight because I'm one of the lucky ones that found people to love me. It started with my girlfriend, who's now my beautiful wife. She gave me the courage to try college. People in my company didn't go to college, but she was brave, and she was going to college, so I thought I'd give it a try. So in the January of what would have been my sophomore year, I packed everything I owned into my car, and I drove as far away as my car would take me. And I walked on the campus of Southwest Missouri State University, a complete fish out of water with no plan but to try to start over. On my third day on campus, I met a Lambda Chi, and he invited me to a Rush event. Now, at that point in my life, I had never heard of a Lambda Chi. I had no idea what happened at a Rush event. But he showed an interest in me, so I took a chance. And I remember waiting outside across the street in the January cold, trying to get the guts to walk across and knock on the front door. I am so glad I did, because the minute that door opened, a hand grabbed me, pulled me in, and my life was changed forever. My life was saved. I wasn't just accepted, I was celebrated. It was the first time in probably in my life that I felt safe, I felt accepted. I was in a family that I chose and a family that chose me. I felt brotherly love, and I liked it, and I wanted more of it. Rob Marty, Phil Dugan, Doug Dugal, these are just names to you, but to me, they are the men that ran towards me rather than away. They are the men that gave me the tools to rebuild my life. They are the brothers, they and all the men that I got to meet during that period of my life. They are the men that gave me hope. Hope means something to Lambda Chi's. I think hope is the most beautiful word in the English language. I think hope is the most powerful substance in existence. Because hope is the antidote to fear. Hope is that thing inside us that makes us keep going when everything tells us to stop. Hope has the heart of a lion. It's been said that a man can live 40 days without food, can live 4 days without water, 4 minutes without oxygen, but he can't live 4 seconds without hope. Now, I don't know where this saying comes from, but I know it to be true. Hope gives us a reason. Hope keeps us alive. And I tell you tonight that Lambda Chi Alpha, when done right, is a hope factory that changes men from the inside out and makes them exceptional. This is our cause. This is our product. This is what we do. I've been lucky over the last 3 years to talk to hundreds of brothers. The oldest was 98, 2 months before he passed away. It doesn't matter where they come from, whether they grew up rich or poor, black or white, north or south. The stories are all the same. They found themselves. They found their purpose. They found their courage because of what they learned and what they felt as collegiate brothers at Lambda Chi Alpha. They became men of consequence. They became men that chose to do the right thing because of what we all share. I think that's pretty darn cool. Now, this transformation process starts with hope, brothers, but hope isn't enough. We also must equip, we must give men the tools they need to turn hope into action, to turn action into outcomes, so they can become a multiplier, so they can use their lives to make everything around them better. And at Lambda Chi Alpha, we are blessed that we have so many examples of brotherly servitude to follow. There was a young High Alpha in one of our chapters who lost his brother to suicide. He started a not-for-profit that helps returning soldiers with PTSD. There is an alumni brother in here tonight that quietly helps first-generation students at his campus with the financial needs that they have. Never asks for credit. Nobody knows. There is a High Pi in this room that went to the Ukraine after the bullets started flying to help children trapped in an orphanage. That is what it means to be a Lambda Chi. That is what it means to answer the cause. This is who we are. This is who we get to be. Now, some folks, some of you are lucky enough to know internally how to turn hope into action. But most of us have to be taught. And this is the purpose of the Ideal Man program that you have heard so much about in the last 3 days. Our desired outcome is to help you build your lives on the foundation of hope by taking the values and the beliefs that are taught in our initiation ritual and help you turn those into behaviors and those behaviors into habits. What we're after, brothers, is generation after generation of good husbands, good fathers, good men that are willing to do the hard work necessary to make the world a better place for the next generation. That is what it means to be a Lambda Chi. So I'm going to throw down the truth, my brothers. You are the future of Lambda Chi Alpha. You are the men that will ensure those men exist. Those men do not exist without you because you are the brothers that have been tasked with taking the seeds of this program back to your Zeta and planting them deep so they will grow. You are the men that will determine whether or not we are here a century from now helping men thrive, no matter what the circumstance. You are the men that are the hope of so many futures. And with this in mind, I want to end with a challenge. I want to end with a personal challenge. When you get back to your Zeta, I challenge you to remember. I challenge you to remember what we get to be as brothers of the bond, because we get to be the man that changes another man's life by simply inviting him to a recruitment event. We get to be the man that exemplifies eternal values on a college campus in desperate need of role models. We get to be the men that ensure another generation of young men find their place to belong, get to have their transformational experience. We get to be the men that put hope into action. We get to be the men that live lives of consequence. We get to be the men that make a difference. Our lives get to matter. We get to be Lambda Chi's. That means we get the responsibility to put everything we know into work. As Michael Davidson said yesterday, we were given broad shoulders. It is up to us to do the work. The world needs the values of Lambda Chi Alpha now more than ever. It is up to you. Now, I've struggled with how to close this speech, with how to take everything that I have learned, everything that I believe, everything that I feel, everything that I think will help you when you get back to your Zeta, create the best life possible. And this is all I have. Lambda Chi Alpha will change your life if you let it. Lambda Chi Alpha will help you become an extraordinary man if you let it. In a world that desperately needs you, I ask you to let it. I ask you to be the man that answers the call. Thank you.